Confidence is not a destination. You're never going to reach it, but it's an ongoing journey.
No one else is going to be able to do that for you.
If you work at it daily and you keep working at different things and building parts of your self-belief, self-awareness, that confidence will come.
Like, what are the things that make that person confident?
It's easier to be who you are to strangers.
You're listening to episode 10 of Apology Void.
And I'm so excited because look at us.
Look at us, Sal. What is
Oh my God.
new? What is happening?
Well, look at our microphones. Well, you've had a microphone for a while, but I haven't.
I
got
be
a
so
new
pretty.
microphone.
I'm so proud of you.
So I hope I sound amazing.
You also look amazing. Because
Got the camera.
yeah, I don't think I've seen your face in this much detail ever.
Ever. Ever.
Which is real fun because, you know, I've never actually seen you in person. So, like, actually being able to see more of the details of your face, I'm
My
like, oh, hi,
face?
friend.
Oh, here I am.
Oh, hello. Look at your stunning, beautiful facial features.
Oh, stop. So if you're watching on video, you can finally see more of what not that you couldn't see me before, but like I have a PC laptop, like a Windows laptop, and Windows don't tend to invest a lot of money in their built-in cameras, which hasn't been so much of an issue until now.
Until this moment.
Well,
Yay.
maybe like 6 months ago. But anyway, so fun. We've got the mics and the camera and I'm excited.
Yeah. And this is the perfect episode for us to have these on because we are talking about confidence. And I feel like these are just like huge confidence boosters here.
Is it not? Like
Yeah.
how amazing. I feel amazing having all
Yeah.
this like fun setup stuff. Just saying.
Yes. While the confidence is built on the inside, there are some external little additions we can make to help support us in that, which is awesome. So this just
Of course.
it feels legit and real and like we're here.
We're leveling up the podcast. That was
day.
our goal this year. One of our goals. So we're
Yeah.
leveling up. I'm excited.
Heck, yes.
And if you like, I just want to say, when you listen to this episode, if you feel like this will resonate with someone that you know, remember to just share the podcast with them because you might help someone in their day, you know, transforming their day, their life, their week, their year, whatever.
Yeah, you never know what impact you actually have on someone just through something as small as sharing something, saying a compliment to them, saying, hey, I think you would appreciate this. It's like a little gift and a little boost, a little way to build somebody up. And I think we could all use a confidence boost from time to time. Every now and then.
From now to now. No.
From now to this, yes, forever and always. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's the end of the episode. No.
Oh my gosh.
So you said before that, and you're 100% right. So the confidence does start from the inside, right? So the root of confidence is like our self-belief, our self-awareness, you know, how much we feel good on the inside. That then comes across as confidence. It's not about, you know, what we look like. And as I said, there are external factors that can help boost. And in my case, this is a microphone, for goodness sake. I feel so good. I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. But it's about the inside. So you need to understand yourself and accept yourself for where you're at. And that's in your confidence, your strengths, your weaknesses, values, morals, all of those things. Stand strong in who you are as a person, and that will help build your confidence.
Yeah, all of those inner things are what help you walk tall, stand tall in the world. They're what help you go out and feel confident. It's all of those things on the inside that really develop how you show up and how you present yourself in this world. And if you believe in yourself on the interior, everyone else is going to see that exuding out through you. No matter what you look like, no matter what you're wearing, no matter how you show up, it just comes out. And that is a really beautiful thing, to have that that sense of self-belief and to be able to build yourself up. Because truthfully, no one else is going to be able to do that for you. You know, as
No.
many people as you want can root you on throughout the day and be like, oh my gosh, you're awesome, you're beautiful. And they can provide you all of this validation. But that doesn't come from, like, your own internal sense of self-worth does not come from outside validation. It has to come from inside. And all those people can say something and it not mean a lick of difference.
100%. Because it's a momentary. Like, that's a momentary feeling. Like, if someone says, oh, you look amazing, whatever, you're like, oh, thanks, and you feel great for 2 seconds. Like, it's
Right.
good, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, being kind and complimenting other people is a good thing to do. I'm not saying don't do that. And receiving them, actually, there's another thing that came to my mind, so remind me about receiving them, because I'll lose my train of thought. But it's fleeting. When you build it from the inside out, it holds steady no matter what happens.
Yeah.
So when you hit obstacles or when someone brings you down, which does happen, you don't rely on the external validation because you've built it from the inside out. It won't affect you. It's just water off a duck's back. I don't know if you have that saying, but water off a duck's back. Yeah, saying, yeah.
I love that so much. That's amazing. I assume it's because they have like the water repellent oils.
Yeah.
So it
And
just,
it flows
slides
off.
It's cute.
It's like a
I like that a lot.
slippery water. Yeah, water
Yeah.
off a duck's back. We love that. And what was I saying before? What did I say to remind you of? Remind me of?
Receiving.
Still doesn't remember. I knew I would do that.
Okay,
Anyway,
so
it doesn't matter. We'll come back to it if I remember.
well, what I was going to say in terms of receiving is receiving compliments and receiving positive feedback can be really, really hard for somebody who is struggling with self-confidence because they think it's just, you know, either sarcasm or somebody trying to be nice, and they don't believe it. I have seen that so often with people in my life who are just like, oh no, oh thanks, instead of saying, oh my gosh, thank you so much, and being proud of themselves and excited. It's like they can't accept that external validation because they haven't provided it for themselves. And it's our own internal validation that we need rather than the external. And then we can start receiving it. Then we can start saying genuinely, with gratitude, thank you. Rather than just like oh, that was fine, thanks.
100%. You actually are a mind reader because I was going to say.
I wondered.
You articulated it amazing. Yeah.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad I could read your mind in that. Yes.
Yeah. It's like accepting things and being like, thank you. Like a genuine, oh, thank you so much. Like I appreciate that or whatever. Rather than being like, oh, no, I don't.
Yeah. Or having to give like
you look amazing. Oh, a negative on it. Like you have to go back with them to them with a negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, okay. So like, what is your personal relationship with confidence? How do you feel about it?
Like in general confidence?
Yeah. Or like your own confidence. Is it something that, have you always felt that way? Have you always been like this ultra confident person or...
I would say yes, in general. I feel like we all have our moments, 100%. I'm super grateful in that regard that I've always stood strong in who I am and have not let the opinions of others bring me down.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it's, you know, we're not going to go into the nature versus nurture, but whether it's innate or whether it's, because I'm also have always been quite like assertive in my communication as well. So if someone doesn't like me, I actually don't care. Like I genuinely don't care. In that, it's not that I don't care about them. It's that if you want to put me down, or if you want to, that says more about you than it does me. And little things like that, I guess I've learnt in, I'll say recent times. Like I've been immersed in the personal development world for probably about 8 years. Before that, I thought it was a bit faff, but really into it for about 8 years. But even prior to that, it may not have been around sort of that awareness of what other people think of you and how that impacts you, but it was about, no, I want to do this thing and you can't stop me from doing this thing. Or I feel this way and you can't stop me from feeling this. Not in an aggressive way, but I'm just trying to articulate that sort of difference. So when we're talking about trying to grow confidence, there is a difference of that sort of a self-awareness of what confidence means, I guess. And if you have or haven't always been that. Am I articulating that properly? Does that sort of, I feel like in my head it's just going around and around. But I guess what I'm saying is I've always been confident, but it may not have been in the areas that I'm speaking about now. Yeah. I guess if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things that I feel like changes a little bit as you get older and as you learn about yourself. The way that you show up isn't the same. It's not the, I'm going to jump off the swing when I'm 15 feet in the air, fearless confidence that children have, where they're not like scared to break all of their limbs. It's not that kind of like complete and total disregard. It's more of the confidence to show up who you are in your beliefs and values and all of that. I think that confidence does sometimes shift from that like fearlessness you have as a child, where it is this, I'm going to put on the show for my parents. I'm going to do these crazy things or wear these crazy clothes or pick out my own outfits that don't match when I'm 4. I feel like all of that confidence does build. But the way in which it manifests changes as you age. But I feel like there is really something about that, like that fearless nature and that ability, even as a child, to say, this is what I want, so this is what I'm going to do. Because I feel like that's something we lose as we get older sometimes, when we're told, no, you can't do that, no, you shouldn't do that. That's where that like self-doubt starts to creep in rather than transform into this beautiful adult confidence. I know that's something I personally struggled with is, that self-doubt, and that self-awareness became a critical self-awareness rather than a positive, beautiful self-awareness. And it's something that as an adult, I've had to learn what I value and really, really dive into that deep in order to be a more confident person in myself and show up in a strong way.
Yeah, that's great. And I wanted to touch on that too. So I think we should elaborate, because being innately, air quotes me again, confident, or always having some form of confidence, I have come to learn that that's a minority.
Yeah.
So what I don't want people to be is discouraged if that is not you. Like if you don't feel confident or have not in your life, and even still don't be discouraged, because I'm hearing your story and it hasn't always been like that for you. So I think that's probably more important to talk about. So where do you think the shift was? Or it's daily, I get that. But where do you think, like, what was a good kick-starting thing, or what was a good time in your life that decided to make the shift?
Ugh.
You probably can't even pinpoint. It's probably just like...
Yeah. There are ways in which I have always been very my own person, but I wouldn't say that I've always been a confident person. I dealt with severe anxiety and severe panic attacks growing up, like starting in the 6th grade. And I had awful acne as a child, and I had a grade school bully, and like all of these things that just like, it was like a recipe for just Katie losing all of her want to be herself in the world. We changed schools when I was going into like 6th grade, which is also an awful time to have to try to make new friends while you're going through puberty and all of that. Anyway, basically confidence crashed down through the floor, flushed it down the toilet for a long time. And it was something that I slowly had to gain back through, college and adulthood. I would say these past few years have probably been my most impactful as far as my confidence. And a lot of that had to do with, making my choices to live in a condo by myself, to, get out of one business, to leave music, to figure out what was going on with my health, to start, showing up. Honestly, this is going to sound so silly. One of the best ways that I worked on my confidence was by growing my Instagram.
That's not silly.
Thank you. Thank you, Sal.
Because you're
Thank
putting
you.
yourself out there in your most authentic self.
Yeah. I wanted to show up somewhere that didn't also require me like talking face to face with people all the time, because that's exhausting. I'm not an extrovert, like truly. I'm an ambivert. So I'm more that like middle of the road introvert extrovert. Not I don't want to be around people all the time. Anyway, Instagram and Instagram stories were a really good like way to shift that. And so I was able to show up and talk to people about what was going on in my life, about thoughts. I would wish people like a really good day just from Instagram in the morning and be like, hey, it's Monday. Have a good day. Hope you're doing well. Everything's great. Here's my garden. And I would make it so that I would not re-record my videos as often as possible and just hit go. And that taught me that people were really only reaching out to me with positive things rather than telling me like, oh, you messed this up. Oh, this word was wrong. Oh, you look like trash or whatever. I don't like, I never got any of that. I just got all right, sometimes we just say those things, right?
You look like trash.
I mean, you garden. Right. See, you immediately got what I said when I said you garden.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm like, I am covered in dirt and wearing tattered clothes sometimes, like, look like I've been rolling in the mud like a pig. Like, this is what I look like showing up on the internet after cleaning chicken shit out of the back, like, coop.
Love.
I'm showing up on the internet like that because I didn't have the confidence to show up or go out in public without makeup for years. For years. I was like, from the age of probably 13 to like 24, I would not leave the house without makeup at all because I hated my skin and my body so much. And so, like, just challenging myself in small ways to show up bare. And I don't just mean like bare skin, I mean like bare out there into the world without like a barrier except for my phone and the internet.
And I was anyway, where I was talking about this is irrelevant, but on Instagram, right, I've heard of people say they have like restarted accounts with no followers or no people that they've known in their life thus far because they felt like they couldn't post things or say things without the fear of judgment. And that's a really interesting point because a lot of that sort of you look like trash or what are you doing and all that comes from people that we know or have known us for a long time. It's easier to be who you are to strangers.
Completely.
Much easier.
Completely.
And this is not a negative thing. This is a positive. So I'm saying I'm hearing that that's like a tool. That could be a tool. Like start on something like social media. Start a new account. Just start with 0 followers. And post to people that you don't know.
Yep.
Because that will show you more authenticity in who you are. Like your authentic self will come across because there's no fear or there's less fear of judgment and things like that. And that will build your confidence. And then another thing you said I think is really important to touch on is as a child, like, with like the bullying and having acne and like not liking your body and things like that. They are the external factors. And we spoke about this a bit earlier, but as an adult, we can sort of regulate those external factors and how much they control our confidence. But as a child, that's not possible. So there are external factors that can destroy our confidence, which sucks 100%.
Yeah.
And if that is you, like if you've had the same experience as Katie in your childhood, that, you know, someone has brought down your confidence time and time again, maybe it'll just take a little bit more work to bring it back. You know, and maybe it'll take some external people as well. You know, that's another whole conversation. But just know that if you work at it daily and you keep working at different things and building parts of your self-belief, self-awareness, that confidence will come in different areas. So it's not a lost cause, I guess. You know, you can't change what's happened, but we can change how we go moving forward.
Yeah. And I'm just going to add a little caveat here. Daily practice is huge. Daily practice is huge. Sometimes, and this is attached but not, sometimes mental health stuff also can be a really big contributing factor. So things that also helped me included getting proper meds and being in therapy, because that helped me process all of the things and then put all of my brain chemicals in the place where they were supposed to be and in a balance they were supposed to be, so that I didn't have all of those extra kind of negative thoughts happening that caused a lot of anxiety and a lack of confidence. So like, yes, daily practice, but also if you feel like it's something bigger, do seek help.
100%.
Those supports are there. So just to take a moment to say that, because like,
oh, of course, because that, there needs to be, and there's different levels too. Like you touched on that you've experienced some really like hectic anxiety as well. You know, that's not always, that can't always be controlled by meditating. Like you can't just meditate chronic anxiety away. It doesn't work like that. It'll help with some symptoms maybe, but you can't just be like, just going to meditate that away. Like it doesn't work like that. So now good point, because mental health is another whole, that's different levels here, I guess we're talking about. And we're getting deep. I love it. I love when we get deep. But
heck yeah.
You know, confidence is also it's not about eliminating things. So you can't get rid of doubt. It's not possible. You can't just, like, there'll always be certain doubts, and they might be minor, they might be major. They're not going away. You can't eliminate that. And to think that that's going to happen is it's delusional. It's about managing those things. So if you have fear, like the posting, if you've got doubt, oh, will anybody like this, da 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 da, like those internal thoughts, it's just about managing those thoughts. It's not like one day they'll just click out and never come again. But you know, that's one thing. And the other thing I wanted to say was, you don't have to be. So you mentioned about being an introvert. Like I'm really extroverted. You don't have to be an extrovert to be confident at all. People think, oh, it's easy for you. Like, you know, you find it easy to talk to people. I can't. It's not about that. It's not because I'm extroverted. It's because I'm confident to speak to people. It's super important, because I hear that a lot.
I feel like people get confused as to what like extrovert, introvert actually means in relation to your personality. And so much of it is more where you draw your energy from. Do you draw your energy from being around other people and in social settings, or do you recharge when you are more by yourself doing quiet-based activities? It's not about, you know, your confidence. That's a separate thing. Like, to be confident in your introverted self and to just be able to like sit in silence is so stunning. So stunning. I used to go for runs where I would listen to nothing but the sound of my breathing. And people were like, how do you do that? How do you do that? And I'm like, oh, it's so pleasant just to like count my breaths and just like go, not even listen to anything, not talk to anyone, or like just drive in complete silence by myself. Oh, such a peaceful, beautiful thing. I like will challenge myself to see how far I can drive without turning on a radio.
And I'm like, where's it said? What about press play? Though, to be fair, sometimes I can have that little silent. Just because
Yeah.
you're extroverted doesn't mean you don't like
Right.
introverted moments
Exactly.
too.
Exactly.
Yeah, some of the most confident. So, some of the people in my life who I look at as the most confident and also who are introverted are powerful. I just want to say
Yeah.
that as well. Like like the way they exude their confidence and power being so quiet and reserved and they just listen. It's amazing to see. Like I'm not that person because I'm not introverted, but I just look at them and I think, oh, wow, like, and you can just see it like oozing from them, you know?
Yeah.
It comes across in just their whole demeanor. It's powerful. You said
It's
it was stunning. It is. It's powerful.
really cool. It's really cool to
Yeah.
witness.
So if you're introverted, don't be discouraged because you could be stunningly powerful,
Yes.
but actually, I'm laughing.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's this really cool thing, and just don't get them confused. That's all I'm going to say.
Don't get them confused.
them confused.
Just to throw this out there, because I think I've teetered on this line. Will admit in my previous, not previous, I was going to say previous life, in my past, be confident, not cocky. So being cocky is not being confident.
No.
No. Just
I feel like
saying. I don't know. We don't have
there's-
much to elaborate on that, but don't.
There's a grace that comes with confidence that does not with cocky.
Correct.
And it can be a line. It can be a fine line in certain situations, but I feel like cocky is abrasive and sometimes will diminish other people, as opposed to confidence, which I feel like builds people up.
Yeah.
It's this cocky is all about you and creating just better for you, I think, whereas confidence can be inspiring to the people around you and
Yeah,
supportive.
100%.
So like whenever you're looking at the line and the two, I'm just like doing a dance over here today. At least
You're
I'm not
loving it.
punching the air like last
We're
episode
not
where
angry.
I'm just
We're
like
just vibing.
today's the dance moves. Last time was the karate chopping. Like
Karate. I
gosh.
remember in school once, I'll never forget this. This girl said to me in our later years of high school, one day she just goes, you know what, Sal? I thought you were a real bitch. Well, she goes, when I didn't know you, I thought you were a bitch. But she's like, now that I know you, you're actually not a bitch. You're actually really nice. Like, I really like you. And maybe it was just that you were coming across, maybe it was the confidence. I don't know. I don't know. Don't know what to put it down to. But she's like, you're not. Like, I thought you were from the outside until I met you. Maybe it was a bit of cocky. I don't know. Like, maybe as a child, I didn't regulate that. Teenager, not a child, but I didn't regulate that sort of line between being confident and cocky, potentially.
Yeah.
I'll never forget
Yeah.
that. It was really interesting. I thought, wow, that's how I'm coming across to someone who doesn't know me.
Well, and that
Interesting.
confidence can sometimes come across as threatening to other people.
Potentially.
Because if you're someone who's not terribly confident and you see someone who stands firm in who they are, that can be incredibly threatening or can create envy or create this tension that doesn't have to exist. If we can just look to some of the more confident people in our lives, look at why we think they're confident and then try to embody more of that. That's a much better way to look at it than being threatened or envious. Like, what are the things that make that person confident? Is it how they carry themselves? Is it how they speak? Is it like what comes across? And then what if we tried something like that? I don't know. I mean, I used to find myself being more envious or judgmental of people who were confident, probably because it's something I just wanted for myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once I started to look at the people around me and be like, oh, well, let's just do this myself instead and like, do the work rather than just be envious of other people, then we can actually make progress and become a more confident human. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah. No, it's true. And look, I feel like confidence is something we can talk about forever. Like, confidence is a topic that it's never going away. We're always going to have moments of down, I guess. Our confidence
Yeah.
might be lacking. And that even, speak on behalf of people who are confident always normally. There are going to be moments when you're like, oh, shit, why is this happening? Or that's that little bit of doubt. But it's just not letting that sort of cycle take over and not letting the part where you build the confidence come back and go, no, okay, just because of this, and managing the response, like we spoke about, that sort of stuff. So it's never going away. It's not a destination.
No.
Confidence is not a destination. You're never going to reach it, but it's an ongoing journey. And just celebrate the wins. We've spoken about this before. Celebrate any progress that you make. I've got a book recommendation, so that'll be on our Instagram. But one of them I'll just mention, The Confidence Gap. I can't think of the author. Do I have it? No, I don't have it there. It's in my other room. But The Confidence Gap. I'll pop that up as well. That's a good book.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So we will
Yeah.
share that on Instagram, and in our next episode, talk a little bit more about ways that you can maybe build your confidence and work on all of that. So with that, I hope that you take this episode, share it with somebody that you care about, that you love, and we wish you all the best.
Have a great day. Thanks,
Chat
guys.
soon. Bye.
Bye.